diverse. And I always throw, when I'm in an audience or a town hall or even talking to a world-class radio host like one and only Dr. Washburn, I'd say, what does the power of the purse mean to you? What do you think that means? And I really want to make sure that everybody's on the same page about what the power of the purse is. If you want to stop funding for Planned Parenthood, you're in that camp. If you want to stop implementation of an EPA rule, and you're in that camp. If you want to do anything that exercises the legislative branch's control over spending, then as Bruce says, we have to pass the appropriations bills. That is in both houses and signed by the President of the United States. That is the power of the purse. And in the House, this is just kind of a footnote to what you said. We've passed all 12 appropriations bills through committee. They've been marked up. They contain all the things that we've all fought for in this room all year about regulatory spending control, budgetary spending control, reform over in the education budget, whatever you're personally interested in, I bet there's something good in one of those appropriations bills. 6 of them have passed the floor of the House, meaning they've been voted on and they've been sent to the Senate. The Senate has not passed any of them yet.
That's the problem.
And for us in the legislative branch, I'm talking about just, constitutional power, for us to exercise our authority, we got to get those bills, across the Pennsylvania Avenue down to the President to begin that. If he wants to veto them, fine. Tell us why. He has a veto request on the defense authorization bill over just one thing, according to him. I'm not putting words in his mouth. He says he's going to veto the entire defense authorization bill. It's been passed bipartisanly for 53 years because he wants to close the detention facility down at Gitmo, for example. But see, that's gotten to his desk in order to exercise a veto. So
I've got another question over there.
So the House Freedom Caucus is probably the most representative group in Congress of what everybody in this room stands for. And I think Congressman Womack said recently that he wants to rein it in. So my question to you all is, are you members and do you support the House Freedom Caucus? And if not, why not?
Good question.
I would belong to one of the sort of, if you can think of it, political caucus in Congress, and that's the Republican Study Committee, which is the largest conservative policy caucus in the Congress. And it's the one that has a good staff and a lot of budget research, and I've enjoyed being a member of that. I haven't joined the Freedom Caucus for no reason one way or the other. If you look at my voting record compared to theirs, they're going to be very, very similar. But I'm focused on my work in the Financial Services Committee, and I think the policy work done by the Republican Study Committee is very indicative of the views of people in this room. I'm completely supportive of their effort in Congress to express their view and be heard as Republicans in our conference. They're all good guys. I talk to them and deal with them every single day of the week. And they have 2 big issues with which I agree. One is process, making sure that the committee system works and that the committee system is representative of people bringing good ideas up through the House system. Number 2, they want to make sure that the majority of the majority, which is the Republican conference, controls what comes to the floor to vote. And finally, they want a leadership team that will carry our message out on radio and television and in print in a very, very aggressive, forthright, daily and weekly basis with kind of no passivity about carrying on our message. Since we don't control the White House, we are in Congress where conservatives can have their voice known. So I'm certainly supportive of what they're trying to do and have a voice in our conference. But I mean, it's not dissimilar to the way, a couple hundred other people feel as well. But that's my views on the freedom call. Bruce?
Yeah, and
I'm a member of the Republican Study Committee as well. I'm not a member of the Freedom Caucus. I'm friends with a lot of the people who are a member of the Freedom Caucus, but I've just not seen it necessary for me to join the Freedom Caucus. I just reiterate what French said about the things that they're pushing for, a lot of the things that I would like to see happen. They're pushing to have a bigger voice in the Republican conference so that some of them feel as though their voice isn't being heard in Washington, D.C., and they're not being represented or being able to represent their constituents back home. I've personally not felt that way. I feel like I've been able to express my opinions and have my voice heard. But they should be able to do whatever they feel like they need to do to represent their constituents, just like French and I should be able to serve and represent our constituents. But there are, how many caucuses would you say there are? There's a caucus for everything.
There's a couple hundred caucus by subject or interest, and the two, the biggest interest group caucus that Bruce and I both belong to is the Sportsman's Caucus, which is, because we like to shoot things. From a political point of view, for the last 10 years or so, the Republican Study Group is a majority of the Republican conference. And so it has had a lot of clout in driving policy formation in the House.
And the RSC has been the group that has historically pushed the conference to the right. There's other caucuses called the Tuesday group that's probably more the moderate members of the conference, but the RSC is by far the largest conservative group of the conference that pushes to the right.
The